Hello, Miz Lizzie here with Yoga Story Play. I'm going to do some story stretches with you, then I'll tell you a story, and then I'll give you some suggestions for some creative play with that story at home. So let's get started. We're going to start with story stretches. So find yourself a place on the floor where you have enough space to stretch out and you won't hit anybody or anything. Plant your feet on the ground. Feel yourself being tall and strong and solid like a mountain. In fact, let's make ourselves a really, really big mountain. Reach up on your tippy toes. Reach up as tall as you can. Tickle the clouds with your fingers. You're so tall. And then let's have the rain come down, bend at your hips all the way down to the ground. Come up halfway. Look around. Has it stopped raining? Maybe. All the way down again. And then let's bring our arms up like the sun. Fingertips meeting at the top, making a nice round sun. And let's put our palms together, still up above our heads, and we're going to lean to one side. I usually do this as a moon, a crescent moon, then to the other side. But you could also think of this as blades of grass blowing in the wind as we go back and forth. Back and forth. A blade of grass just bending in the wind. One way and then the other way. One way and the other. And come to center. Bring your arms down. Let's be trees. Good solid trees, but trees have a bit of a bend to them as well. So find your weight nice and centered on both feet, then shift it over onto one leg. You can lift the other one up to just a little ways off the floor, or you can bring it a little higher, like a good climbing branch. And then bring your arms up as tall branches in the tree. And keep your balance. Maybe you're blowing a little bit in the wind. See where the tree can bend. Let's try the other leg. Get balanced again, and then change your weight onto the other leg. Find that low branch, climbing branch, and your top branches. These tall and straight, or maybe you're blowing, bending in the wind. Good job. Bring that down. Now down, put your legs nice and wide apart and squat down on those legs. Just bend your knees a little bit. Bring your arms up. You're solid like a brick wall. In fact, if you have brothers or sisters or mom or dad or someone else there with you, you could put your hands side by side and touch hands as you are being part of the wall. So you are solid there, bricks, or on your own. Keep your legs wide as you bring your legs up. So you've got straight legs. We're going to pull our arms out to the side. Nice and wide as you can get. Stretch those fingertips out, your toes out. We are a star. We know we're a star because we have 5 points. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Nice. Now let's get really, really, really skinny. Give yourself a big hug. Wrap your arms around yourself. Wrap your legs together. Squish, 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 squish. Tight as you can be. Tight, 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 tight. Ooh, like a spring. And the spring is going to sprung. Let it go. Shake it all out. Nice. All right. Now crisscross applesauce. Find yourself a spot to sit in where you have a nice comfortable place to sit and you're not too close to anyone else. Are you ready for a story? Well, I'm going to tell you a story, but because I'm telling it, you have to help create it with your own imaginations. So let's open our eyes, open our ears, and open those imaginations. This is one of the first stories that I ever told. My mother used to tell it to me, and then she encouraged me to tell my version of it. It's probably a story you know, and you might know a different version. This is the story of the 3 little pigs. Once upon a time, there lived a mama pig and her 3 little piglets, all together in a nice, cozy little cottage. But then those little piglets grew, and they grew, and they grew, until they became quite large little pigs. Pretty soon, that cottage wasn't so cozy anymore with those big pigs in the way of each other. So Mama Pig said, "It is time for you each to go out and build your own house." She gave them each a coin and sent them on their way. Well, the 3 little pigs walked down the road together, and the first person they saw was a woman selling a great cartload of straw. Well, that first little pig thought that would be perfect. Easy peasy to make a house out of straw. And so he spent his coin and got that whole cartload of straw and pushed it all together and made himself a nice little hut out of that straw. Well, the other 2 pigs were not satisfied with that building material, so they kept on going down the road until they came across a woman who was selling a cartload of sticks. Well, the second little pig thought that would be just right, and he paid his coin to get that cartload of sticks, and he wove and put together all of those sticks to build a nice little cabin out of the sticks. But the last little pig, now she was not satisfied with either of those building materials. She wanted something truly solid and strong. So she kept walking along until she came across some builders, and they had a big pallet full of bricks ready to be sold. So she bought a huge pallet of bricks, and she set to work one by one, putting those bricks together with cement. It took her a long time, much longer than her brothers who had built their homes before the rest of the little pigs had even gone on down the road. And she finished it at last, and it was a big, solid, strong house. Now, just about the time that last little pig had finished her house, along came the big, bad wolf. Now, there was nothing he liked better than pigs, especially for lunch and dinner and breakfast again. He came to that first little pig's house and knocked on the door. "Little pig, let me come in." "Oh, not by the hair on my chinny chin," answered that little pig. "And I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in." And that's exactly what the wolf did. You can help that wolf blow. He took a big breath in and huffed, and he puffed, and he did blow that straw house in. Straw was blowing all over the place, and there was that little pig. And as soon as that pig saw the wolf, he ran as fast as he could to his brother's house with that wolf right on his heels. As soon as the first little pig got to the second little pig's house, there was the wolf knocking on the door. Little pigs, let me come in. Oh, no, not by the hair on our chinny chin chins. And I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in. And that's exactly what he did. Help us out now. Take a big breath in, and he huffed, and he puffed, and he did blow the stick house in. Sticks were flying all over, and there were the two little pigs, and they saw the big bad wolf coming at them, and they ran just as fast as they could to their big sister's house. The wolf was right at their heels. As soon as they got into their sister's house, there was the wolf knocking on the door. Little pigs, let me come in. Oh, not by the hair on our chinny chin chins. Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in. And so he did. Help him out again. Take a big breath in and huff. And he puffed. And he huffed. And he puffed. And he huffed. And he puffed. But do you know? He did not blow that brick house in. Instead, he just got completely worn out and out of breath. And as he was sitting there, catching his breath, he looked up at that last little pig's brick house. She had built a really good house. It was strong and sturdy, had a roof and a chimney. And that's when the wolf got another idea. And he sat there and made his plan. And as soon as he'd gotten his breath, he started to climb up the walls of that house, up onto the roof, and into the chimney. Now, those three little pigs inside the house knew what the wolf was doing. Why, they could see him outside there through the windows. They saw the wolf resting, and then they saw the wolf coming up the walls, and they could hear him on the roof and then coming down the chimney. But that last little pig, she didn't have that chimney there for decoration. Why, no. It was for having a fire in her fireplace, and she already had it lit, and she had a big pot of water on that fire, and it was bubbling and boiling, and when that wolf came down that chimney, he fell right into that hot, boiling water. Ooh! And those three little pigs had wolf stew for dinner and lived happily ever after. Now, there are lots of versions of the Three Little Pigs, and I'm sure you probably know some others or could make up some more of your own. In fact, it is such a popular story that sometimes you will find books that is they're telling the Three Little Pigs story, but they use something else, a different kind of character, trucks or wolves. They switch it around, so it's the three little wolves and the big bad pig. There's a lot of different ways you could twist around this story. But one fun way of playing with this story is to build your own houses and see if you can make them strong enough to withstand the big bad wolf. To do this, you'll need some straw, and real straw might be hard to find, but drinking straws would work. Or if you go outside, just working with some cut grass would make some good straw-like material. Sticks, you can use actual sticks, or maybe you have toothpicks or pencils that you could use for your sticks. And for bricks, I recommend Duplos or Legos, or again, if you're outside, maybe some stones. Build whatever kind of house or structure you would like to make out of each of those materials, the straw, paper-like materials, or grass-like, the sticks, the bricks, the Duplos or stones. Make it as good as you can, and then see if you can get a grown-up to help you to have them be the big bad wolf. The grown-up is going to need a hairdryer. Plug that hairdryer in, grown-up, and turn it on and huff and puff with the blow dryer wolf at each of those houses and see how fast, or if at all, they blow over. The Three Little Pigs and building the houses is a great fun way to play with this story as a science experiment to see what happens with different building materials. Have fun, make up your own version, see how strong you can make those little houses. And I'll see you next time.